our review. And I told you this was kind of how your journals would roll, right? And so the first thing is combining like terms. And that should be so crazy friendly, I hope. But sometimes we struggle and we don't remember. What's really new this year that you didn't do a whole lot of in Math 1 was have exponents. So those are going to show up this year. So we're just going to kind of discuss how to handle that. Tell me the like terms that you see in example 1. Okay, and then I also heard 3 and that guy right there. Oh, and that guy right there. Yes? So you see I kind of like color because I can group things together. Now, what order should we combine these in? Do you think we should go for the numbers or should we go for the letters first?
Numbers.
I'm going to tell you to go for the letters first. So go for the letters first and we'll start writing those. And if we go for the letters first, it puts our answer in descending order. And that's kind of how mathematicians like to see their stuff. So I've got a -5 plus 2. What does that get me? -3. I'm going to keep the W, right? The W stays the same. So I've done that one, and I've done that one. And now I have a 3 and a 12 and a -3. Can I just look at those and see those cancel? Or I could say 3 plus 12 is 15 and take away 3, but I sure think that's a shortcut, right? So I will have plus 12. Now, for whatever reason, sometimes people want to keep going and combine those. Should I?
No.
No, that's done, right? Those are our like terms. All right, example 2. What are my like terms there?
Negatives we do to the second, and we do to the second.
That and that? Okay, what else?
4J.
4J and J? All right. Okay, we started to learn about this a second ago. But what should I write down first? Letters first. But I've got all kinds of different letters here with different powers, right?
Let's do the
Grady,
Write down 7 first.
write down the second first,
No, 7 first.
the 7 first. We're going to leave the constant for the very, very end, kind of like we put the 12 at the end here. Yes, ma'am.
We're going to put the -5J to the third part.
Why am I going to choose this one first?
Because it doesn't have a like term and it's not a constant.
Okay, it doesn't have a like term, and it's not because it's not a constant, but what's its exponent? 3. Is that the highest exponent you see? That's why we want that one to go first. All right, and there's nothing to combine it with. Megan's right. So there it is. All right, what's the next highest exponent?
2.
That J squared, right? So I've got -2 plus 1 gives me
1.
positive or negative?
Negative.
Yeah. Negative, do I need to write the J? Or I mean the 1?
No.
Is it okay if you write the 1? Yeah. Will Alex mark it wrong if you type the 1?
Yes.
No. It won't. It will give you credit for it if you write the 1 or not. We do for sure need to have the J squared though. Okay? So I've done the power of 3. I've done the power of 2. Now I need to move down to the power of 1, which would be here and here. I've got -4 and a -1. Combine those and what do you get?
-5.
-5. -5J. Now, what I see frequently in Math 2 is sometimes we're still struggling with, I have 2 negatives, what's my sign going to be? If you're ever stuck on those, just ask, type it in your calculator. We'll get there. We'll get really good at it. And the last thing I have not used is, do I put plus 7 or -7? Plus 7. Sorry, I could just see somebody outside my classroom door, so I seen what was going on. I think they're on a mask break. Let's see, where are we? Oh, I want to write this right here. This guy has a degree of 3 and a leading coefficient -5. Where on earth did those come from? Let me write it up here. This one has a degree of 1 and a leading coefficient of -3. Should we do one more with leading coefficient and degree, and we'll see if we can see the pattern after example 3? All right. What does it mean when 4 is next to the parentheses? You multiply and I need to distribute through. I love seeing you go like this because that's how my brain thinks about it too. So there we go. 4 times x is 4x. 4 times a -3 is a negative. I need that minus. Do I do anything with him? Okay, it's going to stay the same for a second. And what happens when that minus is in front of parentheses?
It's making everything negative.
I love to hear all of your voices. That makes me so happy. I look at it as it changes all the signs inside the parentheses. Just write down all the opposite signs. So instead of a positive 3x, it's a -3x. Instead of a positive 7, it's a -7. All right, because you guys were so good at like terms a second ago on that example 1, I'm just going to highlight all those x's there. And then what is 4x plus x minus 3x? 2x. And then I have -12 and -7. You guys are so good at this game. All right, I'll write it down here. Let's see. This has a degree of 1, and the leading coefficient is 2. Have we figured out where the leading coefficient comes from? That means the leader, right? So -3 is in front, and that's because we took time when we were doing this and paid attention to the order we wrote them down, right? As long as it's in descending order, the leading coefficient is always the number in front. Okay, how about the degree? That might be a little bit trickier.
Is it like the highest exponent?
It is. It's the highest exponent. Right here, it's kind of misleading because we don't see the raised to the power of 1. But here it's easy, right? 3rd degree, power of 3. Here we go again, the exponent, a 1 that we don't see, so it's a degree of 1. Why don't you guys take a second and try to figure out example 4. I'll give you a second to start, and then I will jump in. Is the microphone okay with the mask on? Okay. With the shield on, I guess I should say. Some of you might be stuck and not sure where to go. Check your work that far. copy mine. Now I stopped here for a reason. When I'm going to multiply these, am I going to put 2BA or 2AB? They're both right. They are absolutely both right. So I have a decision to make, right? And I heard mixed answers across the classroom. I encourage you to put them in alphabetical order. BA is exactly the same as AB, but now is it easier for my eyeball to see that those are like terms because they're in exact same order? That's the only reason. Okay, I would never mark it wrong. Ooh, and do we know this one? What is B times B? B to the second. Yeah, B to the second. We'll be doing a lot more of that. And then plus A. All right, now let's go through and let's look for our like terms here. When we have more than one variable, it makes it really confusing to put it in descending order. So don't get stressed over it. We'll just maybe go ahead and go in the order we see. Are there any other A's? 8A, negative 6A, plus A gets me where? 3A. All right, let's look at our ABs now. Here and here. Where does that get us? Just one AB? Okay, one AB. What do I have left? This guy, and I'll just do a zigzag line on this guy to show they're not like terms. Right? I can't combine those. And so I just write them down. And it's always a good idea to double check and see if you have any like terms at your final answer. Do we have any like terms? We've combined everything we can, right? Now, in your journals, I don't have a new one, save the first page. Save the first page for a table of contents. You'll want to put your journal started on the next page, okay? Yes, ma'am. Where did the negative 2 come from? Did I mess up?
Yeah.
Oh, well, tell me I messed up. Thank you. Should that have been a 2? I just put it in there, didn't I? Because here is my 2AB, and here is my negative 2. It just showed up. I don't know why. Maybe I started, oh, I know what happened. I started writing my negative 2, and then we stopped and said, what's B times B? That was my fault, and I'm so glad you told me, Marissa. I really appreciate that. So that means this is not part of our answer right here. By the way, I love it when you find my mistakes. Yes, sir. What time is it? You're welcome to go get it if you want it. That's fine. So you will find now an assignment on Alex that is 1.1, combining like terms, something along those lines. So that's what you're looking for. Get your journal page in your journal.